21st, we're all going to be meeting here again. Henry's coming down.
Henry's wife's ex-husband, Dale Norblatt, we've all met him, came to Lincoln and brought me a DVD, and he wanted me to see it. He thought it'd be good for some laughs. So I didn't watch it for a few days. He and Larry Tramer, the ex-manager, called me, and I got suspicious. So Luke came to edit, and we plugged it in and we watched it. Henry's intoxicated, drugged, unconscious, tortured, and they filmed it, and they gave me a copy. I called Henry up. He didn't know anything about it. Got a copy to him. He took it to the police. The police have raided their homes.
We knew one thing for sure. Dale had rocket-propelled grenades. He turned over 4 of them as part of his deal to testify for the government. And when he gave the DVD to Ron, he threatened to blow up his house if he showed it to anyone else. When we started this film, people always asked me if somebody was out to kill Henry Hill. Now those same people ask us if we're in danger.
I just have to wonder, how did Dale Norblatt, an indicted meth conspirator, get his hands on rocket-propelled grenades from Fort Lewis Army Base? These are weapons of war. While the Nebraska State Patrol was conducting their investigation, a prominent Nebraska attorney agreed to help Henry.
The first time I met him was in jail. North Platte, Nebraska. I drove out there, I had some other business. They marched him in. I looked and I said, first thing I remember saying to him was, "How old are you?" And he says, "A lot older than you, son." And I says, "Well, how old's that?" He says, 62. And I says, "Well, shocking as it may sound, I'm old enough to be your older brother, Henry." And then we sat down and had one of the most intense, I think, frank and honest discussions I've ever had with anybody.
So will you be representing Henry?
I agreed with Henry, and he asked me to represent him. I agreed on this particular event, this incident that I have seen and learned about, and it's clear it was absolutely one of the most horrible things I've ever seen or witnessed or heard about. It cannot be allowed to just go unnoticed or ignored by law enforcement or society in general.
If it was 30 years ago, Henry, would guys like Larry and Dale have gotten away with what they did to you?
We didn't allow stuff like that to happen to us. It was a sign of weakness, and you couldn't, you know, if you didn't handle it, your crew handled it for you. You know what I mean? We wouldn't allow that shit. I mean, the slightest little thing. I mean, it could cause you to get whacked back then.
When we first met, Larry was your manager and your friend.
And betrayed me terribly, terribly. But you know, I believe what goes around will come around, and he'll have his day.
You have a protection order against him.
Yeah, because you know, the guy's he's a predator. You know, and I don't want a part of him.
Dale Norblatt, Kelly's ex-husband.
Same thing. He's another ass. You know what I mean? And I got a protection order against him too.
And you've known him 20 years?
Yeah, yeah, and betrayed me. You know, from over some money. You know what I mean? They want to make a killing, but they didn't, and they'll get what's coming to them.
And they're not your friends?
No, they're not my friends. They're my enemies, believe it or not. But you know, I try not to have any hatred. But those 2 people, I have a lot of hatred for.
Why did you decide to do this film?
We hit it off. I don't know. You know, it's I've turned a lot of requests down. You know, and I don't know. We just hit it off. You know, we became friends, and you know, he even came to visit me in the hospital. And not many people, you know, would do that. But we had, you know, and I like the project. You know what I mean? I like you know, I like the subject that you know, that you're trying to, you know, show me as a, you know, as a person, not as an ex-gangster. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like everybody else, you know, we're 3 new assholes. You know what I mean?
You and Kelly have just separated after 20 years together.
It'll be easier when my divorce is final and stuff.
Can you be friends?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. That I don't know. I mean, there's so much baggage, from the past. It's difficult. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to work through it.
And Kelly has her own problem.
Yeah, she's got her own drug and alcohol problems too. So I mean, she's been there, and she tries, but she doesn't. She's still.
Wasn't that difficult for you?
Well, that's what I mean. I went away to get clean and I come home and there was alcohol in the house. She had alcohol, first thing in the morning. So, but she has her own problems. She doesn't want to deal with that she should be in counseling. She never went and she refuses to go. So, I can't change her.
Do you think you're going to stay sober this time?
I try to work on it, as much as possible. And I'll get a little help from the good old judge, So I'm not worried about it.
A little encouragement.
Yeah, a little encouragement. So.
Are you under a court order to stay sober?
Well, I will be.
You will be.
Yeah, I will be shortly.
One of your probation requirements
Sure.
on the drug charges in North Platte.
Yeah, those are dismissed, and
So you won't be going to jail
no, I don't think so.
unless you fuck up.
Oh yeah. Or I can just do it for 60 days or so, and be done with it. But I'm not, I'm gonna go to sober. I want to be sober.
Sorry that I don't see